Imagine being the most feared mafia boss in the city. A man whose name alone could silence rooms. A man who controlled everything: money, power, people. Now imagine that same man locked inside a prison cell with nothing left but his past. This is the story of Victor Marino, a man who lost his empire but found something far more powerful behind bars. Victor wasn't born a criminal. Like many others, he started small, but he was different, smarter, colder, more calculated. While others fought for survival, Victor planned for domination. Over the years, he built an empire that stretched across the city. Drugs, weapons, illegal deals, everything moved under his control. People didn't just respect him, they feared him. Victor believed in one simple rule: trust no one. And for a long time, that rule made him unstoppable. But what he didn't realize was that the biggest threat to his empire was already inside it. One night, everything came crashing down. A deal went wrong. Police sirens filled the air. His men started falling one by one. But this wasn't just bad luck, it was a setup. Someone close to him had betrayed him, someone he trusted. Victor tried to escape, but it was too late. Surrounded from all sides, he was arrested. The king of the streets was now just another prisoner. Prison was nothing like the world he used to control. Out there, he gave orders. Inside, he followed them. Out there, people feared him. Inside, no one cared who he used to be. At first, Victor tried to take back control. He formed connections, made deals, even got into fights to prove he was still powerful. But prison had its own rules, and power didn't come so easily here. For the first time in his life, Victor felt something unfamiliar: helplessness. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. The noise of prison life slowly replaced the chaos of his old world. And in that silence, Victor began to think. Think about his choices. Think about the lives he destroyed. Think about the man he had become. Then one day, everything changed. Victor met a young inmate named Eli. Eli was angry, reckless, and lost. He reminded Victor of himself: the same fire, the same rage, the same path leading straight to destruction. At first, Victor ignored him. It wasn't his problem. But one night, Eli got into trouble. A group of inmates cornered him, ready to make an example out of him. Victor saw it happening. And in that moment, he had a choice. He could walk away, just like he always had, or he could step in and risk everything. For the first time in years, Victor chose differently. He stepped in and fought them off. Not for power, not for control, but to protect someone else. That moment changed everything. After that night, Eli started following Victor, asking questions, watching him. Slowly, a connection formed. Victor began to guide him. He taught Eli how to control his anger, how to think before acting, how to survive prison without losing himself. But more importantly, he taught him how not to repeat the same mistakes. And something strange started to happen. Victor began to change. The man who once ruled through fear was now earning respect in a completely different way. Other inmates started noticing too. Some came to him for advice, others saw him as protection. Without even trying, Victor became a mentor. For the first time in his life, people didn't follow him because they were afraid. They followed him because they trusted him. But the past doesn't disappear so easily. A powerful prison gang saw Victor's growing influence as a threat. They didn't care that he had changed. To them, he was still the same dangerous man, and they wanted him gone. One night, they made their move. But instead of going after Victor directly, they targeted Eli. They knew Eli was his weakness. When Victor found out, there was no hesitation. He stepped in again. What followed was brutal. A violent clash inside the prison walls. But this time, Victor wasn't fighting for power, he was fighting for redemption. Every punch, every move was for something bigger than himself. In the end, Victor protected Eli, but it came at a cost. He was badly injured, left with nothing but pain and silence. As he sat there, alone, something became clear. He had spent his entire life building an empire, one that was built on fear and control. But inside prison, he had built something far greater. A legacy, not of power, but of change. Months later, Eli was released. He walked out of those prison gates a different person. Not because of the system, not because of luck, but because one man, who was once the most feared criminal, chose to change. Victor never asked for recognition. He never tried to prove anything. But in the end, the mafia boss who once destroyed lives became the man who saved one. And maybe that's the biggest truth of all. No matter how dark your past is, change is always possible.